Well, good morning and welcome to the 2nd of March on my second travel day to go home to Artesia, New Mexico, to my little RV spot in wonderful Casita. We have George and Dottie here, and we're in Veterans Park in Lordsburg, New Mexico. This is a great little spot with camping sites for free. I didn't see a sign, but I know you can stay at least one night, and I heard online 2 nights, but I don't have verification on that. But I certainly stayed with several other people, and there was plenty of room for more here. And it was a great little place to stay. I'm very happy with I'm hearing groaning from my sway bar, making a tight turn. Sway bars don't like that too much. Here we go. And we are at 7:08 a.m. Early morning takeoff, and you see the big ball of fire in the screen because you're gonna see a lot of that. Why? Because we're gonna be heading east mostly, then we're gonna turn north, but for the morning you're gonna see that big ball of fire in the sky. And I tell you, I've gotten the Windex out and I cleaned in the inside and outside of the windshield, so it should be a little better than yesterday's. Yesterday's wasn't that bad, was it? But I cleaned this morning. I got smart and wore these changed to sunglasses. So that'll be a good thing. And we're gonna get on the interstate here. Right around, I think, Las Cruces. We're gonna get some gas, get a little fuel for the vehicle and a little fuel for Rob. Yesterday I packed sandwiches and drinks. I didn't feel like making sandwiches this morning. I got my videos out and I did a little repair work on a screw came loose on my stove, so I repaired that. It's always something, right? Always something in RV land. Oh, so especially when you're traveling, things shaking. And when I went to put on the kettle for the coffee, the burner was laying on its side. Little screw had come out; it'd come loose. And if you don't, if you don't take the time to tighten those things down every once in a while, when you're traveling, they'll come loose. And I didn't take that time. What's super important to do that is tighten all your connections on your solar system, your batteries, your charge controller, your inverter. Just make sure everything's nice and tightened down. And that's one of the first things I'll do after this trip. Probably tomorrow I will get out and I'll inspect every part of my solar, because this is the first trip I've taken with solar going. And for those of you that were curious, it did work out where I was able to turn on the air conditioner from my phone in the car of half an hour before I got here, and it was icy cold when I stopped and got in the trailer for 2 reasons. The AC was going, and it wasn't as near as I thought. What I'm trying to say is I really didn't need the AC. As soon as I got in there, I'm like, it's cool enough outside. But the test worked, so I turned off the AC and I opened the windows, and it was it was lovely temperature. It was very quiet last night. We got some bumpies here on the interstate. What am I doing? I have a microphone up here from my phone that sort of, when I flip the sun visor down, it flipped down. All right, we're gonna set the cruise control today. I'm gonna set it at 62. Why do I like 62? I don't know. Somebody tell me. I don't know why. I settled on 62 as being my comfortable speed. And I tell you, I've run into many people online that say the same thing. So I don't know where we all got 62 from. Maybe that's when I started collecting Social Security. It was age 62. And we're right at the thing. So check engine oil soon. Well, that's good timing because that's one of the first things on the schedule is doing an oil change. All right, well, we're on our way, and I will show you the things that are worth seeing on the way today, and by the time we get home, we'll have another video in the can. I'll see you soon. So as you look off into the distance there and see those, I think a very distinctive mountain range. If you showed me a picture of that mountain range, in particular, if it was close up, I'd say Las Cruces. Because they're very distinctive. You look kind of on the left side there, just these multiple packed together close peaks, very, very jagged, in characteristic of Las Cruces. So I haven't filmed. It's almost 9 o'clock, so we've been on the road for 2 hours, and I haven't really filmed much because it's been like wide open, flat, boring, and I haven't had anything interesting to say. But here is where I'm Cheryl, if you're watching, I'm doing another Cheryl. I'm down to a quarter of a tank, so I'm getting off here in about 1.5 miles. We're going to go to Love's and we're going to fill the tank up. And so those interested to get me from Quartzsite to home in Artesia, in gas, it's going to cost me, I think, about $150, around that. That's not exact, but I'm at 10.3 miles per gallon, which is pretty nice, right? That doesn't happen very often. Wow, I had just I raved about this suction thing that holds the phone up on the dash as being the best one I ever bought, and then it falls off in the middle of a recording. Twice. All right. Okay, I think I'm doing something wrong there. I'll have to take a closer look at it. There is a thing that you turn to make sure the suction is on there, and obviously I'm doing something wrong there. So, but we're pulling into Love's now. Looks like there's plenty of spots to get gas. And one of the tricks is you want to get in here, get the gas going, run in, get what you need from Wendy's there, and get out before it finishes filling your tank, so you're not like taking up a space that maybe somebody else could be using. But I don't think I have to worry that much. There are lots of open spaces here, so I don't think anyone's going to be upset if I'm inside for a little while. And here we are. We'll be right back. All right, I am in good shape here. I have a full tank of gas. Let's make sure, check the tail swing on that trailer, make sure everything's okay. It was very expensive. It was $3.20, which is about 40 cents more than I'm used to paying. I did verify that the warning about my oil was, because we're down to the counter 5%, so that's exactly right. There's nothing, not a problem with the oil, just we need an oil change, which we already knew. You gotta be careful here. There's traffic coming over that hill really fast here, and it's the big trucks coming over that hill very fast. I bet there are accidents here, I'm gonna guess. So we're gonna get back on going east, and we have no more stops. And in 12 miles, we are going to get on US 25, and I believe we go over, I believe it's 71, that is pretty much a straight shot all the way into Artesia. We're going to go through a beautiful, beautiful place called Cloudcroft. It's 8,000 feet plus, beautiful little place. I'm definitely going to show you plenty of that part of the drive. It's a beautiful mountain drive. So we are going to get our thing at 61, 62 miles per hour. So good experience at the Loves, just gas is high, pretty high. And there's a better view of those mountains I was talking about. It really is, to me, it's the signature of Las Cruces, New Mexico. It's just beautiful. I'm so happy to be back in New Mexico. And so the Garmin says you'll arrive at 12:48. We all know that's a lie. That's not true. So I'm gonna guess I pretty much the same as I did yesterday. Maybe a little earlier. I think we might be closer to 1:30 instead of 2. Yesterday I almost hit it on the nose at 2 o'clock. Got where we were supposed to be. And today I think we're gonna be a little ahead of schedule. Only because the speed limit on these roads is 65 and I'm doing 62. And so the closer you're going to the speed limit, the more accurate the arrival time is, I think. So I'm going fairly close, but I'm not going the whole, so if it says 12:50, I think we'll add a half an hour onto that. So we'll see. It's been a very, very pleasant trip so far. The majority of Interstate 10 has been very, very smooth. There's a unmarked police car on the right. It's the second one I've seen today. So if you got your cruise control set at or below the speed limit, you have nothing to worry about. All your tags and everything are up to date. You're not going to get pulled over. So it's nice to know that. I also am going to ask them, I'm going to bring my car to the Ford dealership for the oil change in Artesia, and I'm going to ask them to please check the brakes. I have 65,000 miles on it, and I have not had, every time they've checked the brakes, they've been fine. And I'm just thinking it's going to be close to time for that. Everything's fine. You know, with the tow haul mode on this, like when I'm going downhill with the cruise control on, it really uses the engine more to brake than, it slows it down. So I'm not, I do tow, but I don't use the brakes. I don't use the brakes all that much when towing. So maybe that's what saved it. But this is you probably can't tell on the camera, but this is a pretty steep downgrade. I'm going exactly 62. I haven't had to touch the brakes. That tow haul mode works very well. Now, I will tell you that I just turned on tow haul mode. I've been using eco mode because I think that's just fine when you're on a flat, straight stretch like I was for almost the first 2 hours. Tow haul mode, I think, is more valuable when you have changes in elevation. And if you're a car guy and I'm wrong about that, get on here and tell me I'm wrong about that. And I'm thinking I'm using the eco mode on flat stretches, that I'm getting a little bit better gas mileage. And I'm wrong about that, tell me, because I'm talking about stuff that I don't know about. I'm not an expert on, and I bet there are people out there that are experts, so let me know. I mean, there may well-informed people would say you need to leave that on tow haul the whole time, every time. Don't make any exceptions. It's designed that way. We'll see. And you'll save 10 cents if you put it on eco mode for those stretches, and that'll convince me, I think. I'm leaving the thing recording because I just want you to see more close up of Las Cruces and these just absolutely gorgeous mountains. About another 5 miles, we're going to hit US 25. If I kept going on 25 north, if I went far enough, I'd come real close to Eagle Nest. You get off there near Cimarron and head in through the canyon, and you'd be in Eagle Nest. Quite a ways, though. We're in the southern part of New Mexico, and Eagle Nest is up there in the very northern part of Eagle Nest. And if you pass that exit to go to Eagle Nest and keep going, you'll be in Colorado fairly quickly. That's where 25 goes. And I think that's all because we're changing direction here, that's all the mountains you're going to see. So I will probably, I'm going to guess I'll come back to you when we're near that beautiful road to Cloudcroft. Well, this snuck up on me a little bit, this beautiful scene in front of me. And we'll see a little bit more of it as we sort of sweep around the corner here. Certainly representative of the New Mexico I love so much. And we're still, heck, we're still several hours away from, it's almost 10 o'clock, and we're not going to be home until about 1:30, so 3.5 hours away. But it feels like we're getting closer, right? It feels that way. Just drives like this on a travel day are just really very relaxing. Just doing a Dottie check. We bought a breakfast sandwich at Wendy's when we were at Lowe's, and I shared that with Dottie. She was pretty happy. She's on her bed, eyes are closed. Sun shining on her. She's nice and warm. George is totally zonked. So what we've done that really helps George a lot is Dottie has that bed on the passenger seat, and I have a piece of plywood, and the bed goes on the piece of plywood, and underneath the plywood where your feet would go, if you were sitting in the passenger seat, it's kind of blocked off on this side, and it's real dark, and that's where George is. And I think he's sedated and he feels secure in there. It's dark, it's cozy. So everybody's doing really well, and I'm struggling for stuff to talk about because I want you to see this scenery so badly. I think when I get home, I'm gonna set up slowly. I'm not gonna do it all today. I'm gonna probably hook up the electricity. I won't do the water, or I'll do the water and the sewer tomorrow. I'll bring out the solar panels tomorrow, maybe the next day. I'll do a basic setup of get the power and everything turned on in the Casita. And just, too often I get ambitious and I'm like, try to do everything, and I just exhaust myself. And there's no reason to do it. No reason at all. It can be a lazy Monday afternoon. And then I can do things Tuesday and Wednesday, and I got plenty of time to do it, and just pace myself. I was telling my brother I've got like a storage shed. It's built on the side of the Casita, and you can't even walk in there. It's just, totes full of junk. I've just got to go through it and start getting rid of the junk in there. There's just no excuse for me having that much stuff that stays in those totes. If they're staying in those totes for years, guess what? I don't need them. But I used to carry all that stuff around in the trailer and the truck. Incredible. Oh, we're getting White Sands Missile Range, half a mile. Bet you heard of that, right? White Missile Range headquarters. Exit here. A gate over there on the left. gonna guess all the military bases all over the world are on high alert. There's all stuff happening in Iran. You could be watching this years later. This is just this past weekend we attacked Iran, so we have a war going on. Well, I think that's about all we can see. You saw that beautiful vista. We're getting down to the bottom of it now. So I'm going to turn this off, and I'll turn it on again if I see something interesting. So there's an inspection station up here. I don't remember this. We'll see what happens here. Is it Border Patrol? Yeah, Customs and Border Protection. Yeah. Hey, am I allowed to record or no? For my YouTube channel. I'll turn it off if you ask me to. You a citizen? Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay. So I asked for permission, because always do that. He just asked if I was a U.S. citizen, and I said yes. So I don't remember. I mean, obviously that building's been there a long time, but maybe it's just not been open on any of my trips through here. How interesting. But it is right, it's right outside, White Sands Missile Base. I think you want to have some idea of who's on this road, right? And we're entering White Sands National Park right now. Okay. How are we doing on... Okay, we want to get up to 62 miles an hour again. All right, we're there. No, we're not. 59, 60, 61, 62. Okay, 62. We're doing 62 now. So anyway, this is White Sands National Park. And I thought of something to talk about. I am thinking about doing a video I'm about to describe, and I want to know if you're interested in it. So there's been discussion on my channel about answering people's question, like in full-time RV life, in retirement, what happens when you get too old to do it? And I think I've given kind of vague answers, like where I live, where I kind of own my own spot, I could just stay there and not have to move, right? And there's also the escapees in Livingston, Texas have a nonprofit. They have an RV park called CARE, and it's for elderly people. There's there's staff there to help you, people that need assistance. And that's about as far as I went. What about, I need a nursing home. I can't, I can't live in an RV anymore. I can't even live in a house. I need a nursing home assistance, right? Is that likely to happen? Sure, it's likely to happen. So here's the first barrier to that, is the monthly cost of a nursing home is between $8,000 and $14,000. Now, the headline isn't the wide range. The headline is the bottom number, 8,000. do I have $8,000 a month? No, I don't have $8,000 a month. Even with my retirement income and working part-time, I don't have $8,000 a month. Are you kidding? After tax. That's after tax dollars. Who has $8,000 a month? Well, people that are wealthy have $8,000 or $14,000 a month, and they're fine. But what about the rest of us? What can you do? Well, I found out about this when I worked for the Mental Health Authority in Fairfax, Virginia, and I did some social work kind of things, and I ran into people that had issues that were low income that needed to get into a nursing home, and they would ask, well, how do I do that? And I had to find out, well, how do you do that? Well, I found out. So, number one, does Medicare pay for a nursing home? The answer is no, it does not. So you can forget that. They're not going to pay for it. So what do? Well, in the U.S., there's a program where if you pass a means test, an income test, you can get on Medicaid, and Medicaid will pay for your nursing home. But, all caps, bold but. One, there's an asset test. And, you know, if you've got more than a couple $1,000s, you're not going to pass that test. But what you can do is you can go into the Medicaid program where you start paying that $8,000 a month until you're depleted, and then Medicare takes over. Medicaid takes over. So here's the way it works. Let's say it's $8,000 a month, and I've got $2,000 in Social Security, and so I'm short $6,000. Let's say all I have is $12,000 in assets. I go into the nursing home, and this is all arranged ahead of time. I give them that $6,000 the first 2 months, so I'm paid up. And then in month 3, Medicaid picks up that $6,000, and I give them the $2,000, and I've got no other money, and they give me a stipend of anywhere from $50 to $120 a month spending money. That's it. Unless you got a relative that's going to give you money, that's it, because your savings are gone, and you can stay there for the rest of your life. Which means, you know, oh, here's a fear that people have. Well, Medicaid nursing homes are terrible. They're bottom of the barrel. They're not. They have to meet federal standards. I've seen some really nice nursing homes that have X number of Medicaid beds, right? And so there is sometimes scarcity where, you know, a place might not have a bed available, a Medicaid bed. And you stand a better chance of getting in a urban area because there's more competition. But you run into, hey, there's a wait list or something in a more remote area. It says, well, what if I own a house? Now, that's not a big deal with us because we don't own houses, but there are those listening that own a house. Well, you can keep your house. That doesn't count into the means testing. You can keep one vehicle. Here's the but. When you die, Medicaid that house goes in your estate. Medicaid has first dibs on the equity from that house to reimburse them for everything that they've paid out for you. And that could be all the equity, who knows? Unless you have a spouse that is still living there or a dependent child that has special needs and they can't touch the house until those conditions are cleared. So it becomes a concern for people that are concerned that if you really care a lot about the money that you leave in your will to family, doing this Medicaid thing's gonna, it's gonna wipe that out. Now, in my case, I don't have children to leave it to. I'm fine with that, but other people might have an issue with that. Now, I gave you the broad strokes here, and what I want to do the video on is explaining that in a little bit more detail. I'm going to do, and I know it varies state by state, and I'm gonna really get some facts and put resources where I got the information from in the description. And also, I have a sister that was the CFO for a nursing home, a really nice nursing home in New York, and I'm going to talk to her quite a bit about how these things work and what the practicalities are. So the headline for the video is, if nursing homes cost between, you know, 8 and 14,000, and it could have been 8 and 12,000, I forget. Well, let's just be conservative, say between $8 and $12,000 a month, and I don't have a lot of money. How the heck am I going to get in a nursing home, and can I get in a decent one? This video is going to answer that question. So let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in me talking about in a video. And I did check one thing. Does your RV count as your home? Maybe if you're living on real property that you own. In my case, you know, I have a site, but I don't really own it. It's like a 99-year lease. That does not count. I'd have to liquidate, and if it has value, I would have to liquidate it and use that money. I'd have to sell it and then use that money to give to the nursing home to decrease my assets. So there's a way, but there are catches to it. Anyway, let me know about that. I'll see you soon when it changes here and we see something more interesting. All right, well, here is the more interesting part of the trip today. We're about 16 miles from Cloudcroft. We're starting to climb through the mountains here. Behind us is Alamogordo, I think it's pronounced. And it's the only thing I know about it, I think they have pistachio nuts are grown there. It's not a very interesting looking place as you drive through it. No offense to anyone that's from there. It just doesn't, there's nothing striking about it. Although I've never been to the historic downtown. It could be pretty cool. I've never been there. So I think we're going to be climbing for a while here. I see some lights up here, though. I don't know what's happening there. Whether that's construction or police. Don't know. I think in New Mexico, the construction people have the same blue and red lights as police do. At least from the back of them. And up here we have a sign for the Lincoln National Forest. I'm probably not going to have a lot to say through here, but I think this is scenery that I think you all want to see. Especially those of you on watching on a TV, which is over half of my viewers watch on a television. Isn't that interesting? This road's absolutely carved right into this mountain, isn't it? And we are right now, well, I'll tell you when it's an even number here. I'll make it dramatic. So right here, we are 100 miles from Artesia. Now, the final 100 miles of our 2-day trip home to Artesia. Which means that we haven't gotten to Cloudcroft yet, but it means that Cloudcroft is less than 2 hours from Artesia. Pretty close. And I should be in the right-hand lane, shouldn't I? Sorry about that, whoever you are. I apologize. If you happen to see yourself on YouTube, my apologies for not moving over to the right lane so you can pass me properly. A little taken with the scenery. I bet my friend, I think his name's Steve from New Hampshire, is gonna rave about the blue sky, aren't you, Steve? Loves the blue sky. And maybe, well, if I say it, he'll do it, but maybe Ken will Google something about Cloudcroft, something interesting about the history or so of Cloudcroft and this mountain range here. It's pretty spectacular. I've forgotten how beautiful this drive is. And what I'm hoping is, I mean, the sun is beating down on the phone. I hope it doesn't overheat. I bet it probably will. To be sad. I should use one of my other cameras that are not as prone to the overheating. It says icy. I don't think so. I think there's a light on that sign. If it's flashing, there's ice. But I guarantee you, there's no ice here. Look at this. And there's something pretty interesting coming up. Are you ready for it? It won't overheat on this stretch. Look, a tunnel. There's a big canyon on the left, or a deep canyon on the left. Very deep canyon. But here they decided, well, let's go straight through the mountain on this stretch. And our mileage is creeping down because we're gaining elevation. We're down to 10.2 miles per gallon. But I bet we'll pick some up on the other side of the mountain, coasting down into Artesia. logging truck with a stack of cars behind it. Not a lot of passing room here for them. Look at all those cars. Whoa. It says be prepared to stop. I wonder if there's instruction up here. We're at 6,750 feet. It tells me it's about another 2,000 or 1,800 feet to go up to Cloudcroft, which will be the peak. There's a post office over there. A pizza place. And right here it says we're, it kind of says we're out of the desert now. We're getting into real mountain territory. I got a glimpse, but I think I might have a police car behind me. So I better be scrupulous on my speed here. It says fines double. I'm looking at the rear and I can't quite tell whether it's police or not. I don't think it is. If it is, it's a good unmarked one. You might remember a video from last year, around about the same time. Cheryl and I drove through here. We were traveling together, and her truck's not quite, doesn't have the horsepower mine does, so she had to go pretty slow up this mountain to Cloudcroft, and she got behind me quite a bit. I had to wait for her up in Cloudcroft. Hostel. Because there's a hostel there. That's interesting. Guess this is called a safety corridor, and I think that's related to the fines being doubled. All right, so I'm going to be in the right lane, so he wants to pass me, and he's going to. Oh, there's a little backup here. A little bit of a backup. And there's a flagman here. It looks like it's maybe one of those one lane at a time things. On mountain roads where they have construction, it's often a thing. So that's what it is. So I'm going to turn this off and turn it back on when we get going again. Well, if I had to guess, I'd say I sat here for 10 minutes. No more than that. A column of cars came through, and now we're going through. Interesting compound over here on the left. One of the things I notice in New Mexico is when you go through these things, the guys that work there always wave. They always wave to you, and they wave to everyone. I don't know whether that's a rule or just a thing. But I was, when I'm up north in Eagle Nest, I travel often to Taos, and there's that mountain pass road between Angel Fire and Taos. There's been construction for a few years there, and you got these where you stop like this. And I swear, every time I go, every single guy that's working out there, working the flag, will wave at every single person. In a friendly wave every time. It's wonderful. It always surprises me. Look at this place on the right here. That's old, don't you think that place is pretty old? Falling apart. Oh, we're going really slow here. I wonder what's up. It must be, this is where the actual construction is. That's why it's going so slow. You got actual stuff happening down here. And it's not really road construction. They're doing something, maybe clearing brush or something. I'm not sure, but definitely got the heavy equipment here on the shoulder. I guess they're widening it, maybe? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Oh, and there's something up there spraying something on the side of the road. Is it seed, maybe? Oh, they weren't spraying anything. That was, they were chewing up stuff and, I don't know, mulching or whatever you call that. But I can see by the side here, they're clearing the side here. I wonder if they're widening the road eventually. I don't know. Doesn't seem like it's widening it enough. Maybe just there wasn't enough of a shoulder. I don't know. I'm baffled. Okay, Ken, what are they doing there? I need the facts. What are they up to? On route, what is it, 82? Am I on? I don't even know what I'm on. Yeah, I'm on route 82. We got pine trees. So you know you're not in the desert when you got pine trees. Not a lot of pine trees in the desert. I'm looking on my what's up ahead, and in 3.9 miles is Black Bear Coffee. Doesn't that sound like it'd be good? Black Bear Coffee. And then they're listing rest areas with a big circle with a line through it, meaning there are no rest areas. So, oh, I see it's listing gas. That's 22 miles in restaurant Black Bear Cafe. And then rest areas, and it's just saying, sorry, we don't have any rest areas. So here are the people coming the other way in line for their turn. What do you say, Dottie? You want a little more AC? I can do that. We got a little panting going on. There you go. No more air. There's water. Oh, there's no water in there. No wonder you're panting. Here you go. There's water. There's some water. And again, I'm still recording only because I think this is just a beautiful drive. Well, we're down to 10.1 miles per gallon. I'll be a little sad if it slips under 10, but it very well could be. I think we got probably another couple thousand feet to go before we get to the peak, Cloudcroft. I think it's at least another 10 miles. So we're probably gonna, but I have faith if it goes under 10, it'll creep back over on the way down because it'll practically be coasting the whole way into Artesia. And the good news is the phone is in the shade right now, so it's I'm not gonna have an overheating problem. And I took the case off. That helps. I think it's the guy that likes to stuff. The skies. I think it's Steve Warner is the name of his YouTube handle. Steve Warner out of New Hampshire. And I never asked him what part of New Hampshire. And I probably haven't mentioned that I not only did my stepmother she was with me from age 11 on, had a summer house in Meredith, New Hampshire on Lake Winnipesaukee, and I spent my summers up there in that summer house. And I went to boarding school at New Hampton School, which was close by there. Exit 23 off 93 was New Hampton School for 3 years in the 70s, 75, 76, and 77. And that's where I first got interested in firefighting. I was a junior member of the fire department. And I think it was 14 or 15, you can join as a junior member. And there were only two things you couldn't do as a junior member. You could not drive an apparatus, obvious reasons. You had to be 18, and you could not go into a burning building, but you could do everything else. And I learned how to be a pump operator. So they give you full turnout gear and everything, and you do all the training. I remember doing the training with the air packs. They call them Scott packs. I think that was the manufacturer. But back then, the tanks were made out of steel. They were pretty heavy. So I remember decades later, I became a volunteer firefighter in Manchac Volunteer Fire Department in outside Austin, Texas. And I went through the training there, and they were doing the air mask thing, and the way you put on the tank is you lift it up over your head, and I hadn't lifted it yet. When I lifted it, I almost threw it up in the air. It was so light. I think it was made out of some composite material, and it was just way lighter than I expected. Now, that sign says lights. Does it mean put your headlights on, or is this called a little town called Lights? I don't know. Oh, I think, no, this is Cloudcroft. See, Cloudcroft. Yeah, we're in Cloudcroft, guys. Yeah, that's where we are. We are in Cloudcroft. I didn't know. I don't know what that sign that just said lights meant. And we're right at 10.0, so we didn't go below 10. And I think if I'm almost certain it's all downhill from here, but I've been wrong before. There's a little museum there, just like there's a museum in Eagle Nest. There are two little towns that are high up in elevation, Eagle Nest and Cloudcroft. And I always thought, well, you know, if Eagle Nest doesn't work out, I'll come up and spend my my summers up here in Cloudcroft. The summers you want to be up over 8,000 feet, because you get like 70-degree temps all summer long. There's a diner. It says Big Daddy's Diner. I bet they have healthy portions at Big Daddy's Diner. And I see snow. Do you see this? Did you see the snow on the right? There's a patch. We passed a patch of snow. That tells you this is legit elevation, right? When you see snow. I don't know what I can't tell you what the temperature is, because I haven't paid too much attention. 68 degrees, and that's at 11:21. Artesia is 91 miles from here. And what it says 87 on the GPS, so who knows which one's right. Somewhere between 87 and 91 miles. It doesn't seem like we've gone very far since I said it was 100. Oh, it says 87, not so 87. So we've been 13 miles since it said 100. I don't know what the discrepancy is between the GPS and the road sign there. But right here it says 87 miles on my GPS on my Garmin. Maybe the Garmin is 87 miles as the crow flies, and the street, the other one is counting the curves. Who knows? Oh, look at the snow up here. Look. There's snow. It tells you don't want to come through this pass in the dead of winter. You could ski Cloudcroft. I didn't know there was a ski area here. Ah, there it is. There's a lift. It's a little ski area. All the times through here, I did not notice that. Looks like a little bunny slope right there. we're back up to 10.1. So we're going to be over 10 miles per gallon for the trip, which makes me feel better. Isn't 10.1 miles per gallon for a trip much better than 9.9? It's a big psychological barrier, 10, or below 10. It's the difference between a single digit fuel mileage and a double digit fuel mileage. When you're single digits, you're feeling like, boy, this is terrible. Well, we're up to 55 miles per hour. And that's not fast enough for that guy, huh? Which tells you we're out of most of the big curves, I guess, or the frequent curves. I hope you're enjoying this video here, and I hope I'm conveying how relaxing and nice this trip has been today. It's always nice to be recording like this, so Dottie and I both feel like we got company, right, Dottie? She's awake, but dozing, right? So Cloudcroft would definitely be like an hour and a half from Artesia. I think the patches of snow have disappeared. I don't see any more on the hillsides. Well, I think that's enough, and we'll probably re-engage probably when we get to Artesia. But if there's something interesting between here and there, I'll turn it back on. All right, guys, we have arrived in Artesia, and I'm way early. My guess was like 1:30. It's 1 o'clock, and I'm pretty much here. I'm gonna keep it going through as we pass my favorite places. My favorite grocery store is on the right. It is Fenn's Country Market. They're on the right. Fenn's Country Market. I just love that store. It's not a chain. It's an independently owned Artesia local business. It's a great supermarket. There's our Starbucks on the right. And we're coming up here on the old downtown. It's worth seeing. There's Ashley Furniture on the right. I only point that out because I got my couch there. Really love my couch. So still a little ways up before we get to the old downtown, but it's on this road. And the old downtown starts right here. Downtown Artesia. See on the right there's a big sculpture. It's dedicated to the oil business, big oil town. Because right in front of you, you can see off in the distance there, that tower, that's a refinery. There's a refinery right in town here. On the left there is the Wellhead restaurant. I like that restaurant. I've only been there once, but it was a really great meal. I went with a bunch of people. It was a lot of fun. And that's going to be about it. I'll join you as soon as I get settled, and I'll end the video from the inside of the Casita. Well, hey, everybody. It's Rob. I'm home. Remember the part earlier in the video where I said, I'm going to pace myself. I'm not going to do everything all at once. Guess what I did? I did it all at once anyway. Oh, well, what can I say? I did it all at once anyway. So, and George is up in the corner eating. I can't get a shot of George, but I can get you. Dottie's there on the couch. Everybody's happy to be home. This is the Casita, is George's favorite place. It looks like he's about to jump on the couch. So, oh, you're going to get a George sighting. There's George. Hey, kitty. There's the kitty. Where are you going? Where'd you go? I didn't even see. Oh, underneath me. Oh, well. Well, you got to see both the kids. And I really hope you enjoyed today's video. It was really a very relaxing, nice day. Nice travel day. I really enjoyed it. And I'm settled in. I got my office all set up here. I got the big screen TV going. I'm a very happy man today. And I'm happy that you came with me on the trip. And we're going to start with Artesia, New Mexico. So tomorrow we're going to go into Artesia because I put my rig in a different place and I didn't have enough sewer hose to get to the sewer. So I got to go buy some sewer hose tomorrow at Walmart. So we're going to definitely go to Walmart. And I think that's all I need, but we'll head into Artesia tomorrow together. And maybe we'll go to my favorite grocery store and get some sushi.
I haven't had sushi in a while. Being in Quartzsite, there's not a lot of sushi to be had in Quartzsite. There is, I noticed one of the grocery stores was selling some, but it just didn't look that fresh. So, anyway, thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow.